Hello and welcome to Pens, Paint and Whiskers. So today in my part 3 of Can I Make Art Based on a Car? Yes, I can, and yes, I did, and you're going to see it in a minute. If you've been watching along, you'll know that I had made an attempt to make something. If you're just new here, for context, I spotted this lovely car. It's I believe, a Series 5 BMW, and it comes in this gorgeous colour. This shade is called Isle of Man Green. And I really love that name, and it was the colour and the name that really drew me in. So I decided to see could I use it as an art challenge. And indeed, in my last two videos in relation to this topic, I have painted in that color. So I've made creatures in that color. Now, not necessarily based on a car, because I don't want to draw cars. I don't want to draw anything really mechanical. It's usually fantasy is usually my main type of subject. It was the color really that drew me in. So I made these guys. So these are kind of dragonfish mer creatures. And in going with the Isle of Man, if you're aware or if you're not, on their flag, their official symbol is this odd, like a Celtic triskel symbol. It's got three legs. And basically, the motto is whatever way you throw me, I land standing up. So it's a resilience motto and symbol to go along with it. It appears on their flag and anything official from them. So I went with that, and I'm glad I did, because it sort of is a little bit reminiscent of a car hood ornament. And that's kind of what I was going for with this art challenge. And the story is that one or two of these guys have been digging around in the sand, and they've unearthed this strange disc, this symbol. We don't know where it comes from, and they certainly don't. And yeah, they're just sort of looking at it, and they are a little bit worried about it. So in this part 3, you're going to see me do mainly the finishing touches on it, and it is a double page spread. The sketchbook I am using is a 300 GSM watercolor paper sketchbook from Lowell watercolor, I believe. I'll put it in the description anyway. And that was just a blotch that ended up on the paper anyway, but they really haven't bled through, so it is fantastic paper. And they themselves, this color, the green mer color, is in graphite alcohol markers. Some Posca gold on their spines, and they're outlined in Posca white. And the background is, it's not a Reeves gouache. I think it's Royal Talons gouache. And I framed little portraits in Posca gold. And I'm really happy with how it's turning out. So in today's video, I'm probably going to do a glaze, so the finishing touches, and I'll see can I do little clouds of fish, and I'll see how it will work together. I have a glazing material, and for the first time, I'm going to try it out. And you can also see that I have stuck these little gems I found in my workplace, that they weren't using them. So I decided to take them home and use them. And I did say to myself, in 2026, going forward, I'd be more 3D and more adventurous in my art. I was going to add washi tape on them as a frame, but it really wasn't working, so I stayed away from it. So I went with the gems, and between you and me, this is a big secret. The gems are actually covering up some spills with the Posca. So sometimes my Posca doesn't quite work out. And I had some spills, so I created these bubbles with the white Posca, and I really liked it. So now I'm going to try and sort of finish it off. And I was thinking, I have a small little Posca. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's a quirk of Posca. I don't know if anybody else works as much as I do with Posca, but it sometimes it refuses to work on me. Other times it doesn't, and it could be the material it's going on to. So there's that too. And if I press down, so I'm just going to give it a little shake. If I press down, sometimes a big massive blob will come out. Yeah, so that is what happened. And I'm going to just try and see, can I encourage it? Yeah, okay, that doesn't want to work. So I'll try a slightly thicker one. Pity now, but the slightly thicker one is better. These guys are outlined in the thicker Posca. So I'm just going to outline the little kind of the little gems and the stars. Now what I'm finding about sometimes this Posca is it catches in the paper. This paper is quite thick and tooted. So it catches and it sort of nearly trips the nib and creates little messy splodges everywhere. Not ideal, but anyway, that's part and parcel of the process. Now this big green gem, I'm going to hopefully, these are stuck on with PVC glue, by the way. And I just sort of stuck them over their little mistakes, or well, I won't say mistakes, the happy little accidents. And yeah, that one doesn't want to work either. So it's likely it's the gouache underneath and the alcohol markers. Maybe there's an oil kind of coating. Maybe they have it's refusing to work on me. But anyway, not a problem for me. I shall try again, coaxing the life out of this one. And no, that doesn't want to work either. Okay, right. Anyway, how and ever. I'm going to try and see. No. Oh dear. Right. Now what I do is I go, when this happens, give it a good shake. And you can hear that lovely rattle that they have, and press down on the nib. So pump the nib. Now maybe it's the wrong technique, I don't know. It's always worked before for me. And it's deciding not to work. But anyway. Yeah, now that one is, oh, moon. Hold on to my car. Okay, so back we go again. I do think it's the kind of the what they're painted in is causing this. Anyway, I was gonna highlight these little stars and little gems. Clearly it doesn't want to work on me today, but we won't hold that against it. So I'm going to try little kind of designs around them. See, does it want to? No, somewhat. Now believe me, just before I started filming, I actually tested these, and I know it doesn't seem like I was that organized to do such a thing, but yes, I did. I tested these. They were all working perfectly. I tested them on little patches around here, and they were all working fine. And then as soon as the camera starts rolling, what do you know, but they won't work. Well, this one actually, this one, yeah, you can hear that scratch probably. They do trip, I call it a trip, or a catch on the tooth of the paper. So I might have to look into different kinds of gel pens. Sometimes I have success with jelly rolls, other times I do not. I haven't heard much success stories with jelly rolls sometimes. I haven't had much success with them. But anyway, now I'm happy with that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that a second to dry. And I was hoping, this is a Faber-Castell Pitt pen. So I was hoping to put in little shoals of fish, let them dry, and then glaze. So I'm going to do that. So I tested this before filming and being really careful actually not to smudge. Little shoals of fish. So what I'm doing is I'm leaning, I might take you up a little bit, but I'm leaning the side of this pen, just dotting it lightly, a bare touch on the paper, just to create the illusion of sort of little faraway fish shoals, because I think it really would make this portrait or this sketchbook spread. And yeah, so this lovely blue color, it really kind of contrasts. It's still the same sort of tones obviously, and it's blue, but it contrasts lovely with the sort of turquoise, lovely turquoise kind of or light sky blue I got from the gouache. So yeah, it looks like a little distant fish shoal. So any sort of white spaces I'm going to fill up like this. So there, that's actually better. So what I'm doing is just little tips. You can also do this with a paintbrush, a very thin paintbrush, but as I had quite a nice pen here, I said I'd do it in a pen. But yeah, so I'm trying to not have them static, trying to have them sort of swaying along with the currents as fish shoals do. So I'm going to put more up here. So hopefully it's a convincing enough fish shoal. I don't know if it is or not, but however. And I might put a glitter on these guys here, and then a glaze, just the finishing touches. And sometimes you stop, and I know I can't stand back because I am sitting here filming, but what I would do is I would just sometimes with fish shoals, I've did this before with paint, I would stand back even as far back as you can and just have a look at the shape of them and see how they see, do they, not that they don't make, oh, not that they don't make sense, but see, do they, is it a flow that you're happy with? And if not, try and fill it out as I'm doing at the other ends. Now I haven't got my glasses on for filming, and I could do with my glasses, but I'm not sure how these little dots look, or little dashes I should say, but I think they look really good so far. I'm not highlighting tails or anything, I just want to create that kind of sort of illusion of depth, that they are indeed in water and there is life in said water, or a nice little interesting background for them. So yeah, so it started from the top corner, so I'm going to swirl it around. I might actually do another video on how to create these little nice details with pages, how you can fill up if there's a lot of empty space. I don't like empty space in a sketchbook page. If you do, that's okay. But if you want to create kind of illusions or little kind of nice additions, I might do a video on that, because I do this quite a lot. I am one for not liking empty space and not liking kind of white. I don't like my creations floating in white. So what I do is I do blocks of colour and kind of little details like this, or little stars or something. So I might make a video on that further along the line. But I am happy with how this looks. So they've got the little fish shoal and they've got another one. So I'll just fill that one, this little corner in too. And maybe this corner. So sometimes as well, take a back step and see. You don't want too much too. So I might do the top corner and then glitter and then glaze, and that will be the end of them. So, and I'm happy with their bubbles. Another idea for a video. Now, these two up here, I'm not really, not that I'm not happy with the portrait, I am. But when I look at it, sometimes I think, oh, there's another different way I could have did their head portrait. But however, that's the way they are, and I'm happy with them, and that's the way they'll stay. So yeah, dotting them in. That might be a little bit spaced too far away. So there is a slight pattern in fish shoals in nature. But yeah, I think I am mainly happy with that. Now, if I have to go around and loop, I might not. I'll see. So looping up the way, and you can fill these out a little bit. You can create more teardrop shapes with the fish. But obviously, just for the purpose of filming, I'm not doing that. I'm just creating long sort of little kind of dashes for their bodies. But you can do little teardrop shapes too. And you can give them, if you want to create clearer or closer looking fish, you can create little tails, put little tails on them. But no, not today in this video. Anyway, yeah, I'm really happy with that. And now I might give these guys some lovely glitter. I do love me some glitter. And unfortunately, I don't know the brand of this glitter pen. I don't even know where I got this. But anyway, hopefully you'll see what I mean when I say it is a glitter pen. Again, this was tested. Okay. Oh, now it is. Yeah, so I'm working by a window. So there is a light source here. And it's south facing. So hopefully the lovely glitter catches the light. And I'm not being sparing with their glitter, but I'm not being too kind of generous with them either. So I sort of, I want to give the illusion that the light, wherever the light is on their bodies, it catches the light, it catches glitter. So that's what I'm doing. So mostly where I've got the lighter shades of green, I'm going along with the glitter. And this pen, I've been trying to find out what make or what brand it is, but yeah, so far no luck. If I do between videos, I might put it in the description. But it does need some encouragement, so it is one that you must squeeze a little bit to get the glitter out of it. And again, sometimes it needs a little bit like that. So give it a good squeeze and then paint with it. And it won't, any pen strokes underneath, it won't blur them out. Some pens, actually, we're getting a little bit of bubble there, or pooling, maybe I should say. Yeah, slight pooling. We'll try again. Oh, so you are going to be extra glittery, boy. Okay. So trying to highlight kind of where glitter might be along the tails. So they do have quite long snaking tails. Oh, now that has pooled and that has bled a little bit. Okay, well, we'll leave it be. But anyway, they do have, my mer creatures do have quite long snaking tails. I'm not sure how long these guys are, but you'll notice they're certainly the lower end of their bodies is a lot longer than the upper end. I like that with mer people. I like that they can look potentially more serpentine. My designs on mer people, now no way is wrong, obviously, but my designs on mer people, I just have them a little bit more elongated and snake-like. And I really like that about them. And I like to keep that kind of an interesting, and I also give them horns. So they're like a dragonfish. There's a little bit more of a serpentine sort of look to my mer people. And I really like it, and I keep that up. And of course, if you want to do that yourself, there's no harm in it. And if you like the typical kind of the traditional kind of mer creature with the pale or the human, more human skin above and the fish parts below, that's okay too. There's no wrong answer. No wrong way to do anything in art, really. But yeah. So I don't know how much of this is catching the light, but I'm happy with the glitter. So they are very glittery. So I'm going to let that dry for a minute, and then I'm going to put a glaze on them. Now, I'm not lying when I say that the glaze makes me a little bit nervous. I haven't tried a glaze on a portrait or a picture of mine before, so I'm a little bit nervous, or a little bit apprehensive, I should say, about testing it online or on a video. And certainly testing it when I've put all this work into what I've made. But I will show you, again, it's more mer people, but for my sketchbook title page, I did test it and they came out looking really well. So these are alcohol markers and gouache paint as well. And that has a glaze on it, and it's a little bit scratchy, a little bit of a different scratch. So I'm going to do another glaze and I'm going to try it. This is now I've got a candle up here. It is burning. And what I do before, well, everyone should do before testing any materials, they should look and see, is it flammable? It is not. I am always very careful about that. I have a window open over me and it is an open window. So do use any solvents, any materials in an open space with an open window. But yeah, and obviously not near a naked flame, but this seems to be okay. This is a kind of a varnish, sort of, I call it a glaze, or I always call my finishing touches a glaze anyway. But yeah, Winsor & Newton Artist Acrylic Matte UV Varnish. Now, I was told that it can work on watercolors and it works on acrylics. And apparently alcohol markers. Now, I'm not sure, so I'm going to try it and see. And you're going to see me try it and see. Yeah, so I'm just going to test and see, are these, yeah, slightly. Anyway, we'll just let them dry off slightly and see, and hopefully now it works. Really careful first and see, is that going to work? Okay, so it doesn't seem to be bleeding or dragging any color around. So yeah, it does seem to be a good glaze. Too early to say. And then you have to leave it and let it dry for a few hours at least, because if I close this sketchbook, it will tear and it'll dry and then it'll tear. So I have to leave these guys open then for the next few hours. Now I would probably give it, how long would I give it? I'm not sure. Going by, not that I'm not a person to read the label, but sometimes I'm not a person to read the label. I think it greatly depends, but I'll have a look at the bottle and see. And I am being careful because after all of this work, I'm actually quite terrified that I will ruin these guys, and what a disaster that would be. But I can see that it's not pulling anything anywhere. It shouldn't. Well, slightly with the pen actually. Okay, so that's a fine liner. That is it a Faber-Castell fine liner? I think it might be. But yeah, that's not holding. So I'm going to be extra careful wherever that is, because I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but it's not, the pen is not holding. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a nuisance now. I thought that pen would hold because it does say waterproof on it. I believe it does anyway. Okay. Yeah, hard to find a genuine waterproof pen sometimes, but you live and you learn. Okay, and already I can feel the weight of this page, so it is a little bit more weighty because of the glaze. And the glaze does create it looks like a little oil slick on it. I don't know if you can see it now in the video, but it does create like the impression of an oil slick. And when that dries fully, it should be extra shiny and it should be protected. So I'm going to check the bottle again and see. So acrylic, Artist Acrylic, matte UV varnish. Yeah, protect your art from airborne pollutants, UV damage, and improves light fastness. Yeah, so allowed to dry for a minimum of 24 hours or up to a week for thick layers, and apply 2 thin coats 24 hours apart. Can be removed with varnish remover. Yeah, so yeah, I did think it did. I would, of course, leave anything to dry like this 24 hours anyway. I did think it would be 24 hours. I was right. So these guys are going to be drying for 24 hours, and I might do a page and then another page. I'll see. It depends on whether I can leave them open somewhere. And if I can leave them open, hopefully it won't run and pool down to the bottom. I let it dry a little bit more, but I believe you are better to let it dry sort of standing up, and obviously in a clean place with no dust, so that you're limiting the dust that gets at it. But anyway, they're going to dry for the next 24 hours, and hopefully they will dry and look even more shiny and more fabulous. So yeah, I think I would recommend. It's too early to say yet, but from testing it out on the title page, I would indeed recommend this Artist's Acrylic kind of UV varnish too. I think I would. It's too early to say, and I don't want to say fully that I would recommend it, not knowing how it will look after 24 hours. But yeah, I'm going to say that, yeah, it seems to be good so far. And we'll wait and see. But anyway, that's been part 3 of Can I Make Art Based on a Car? And yes, indeed I can, and indeed I have. If you've been following along from the very beginning, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. If you're just new and you've just stumbled upon me, hello and welcome, and thank you very much if you're staying till the end. I do this kind of thing very regularly. Weekly, more or less, I have a video out. And if you like what you see, please do indeed consider liking and subscribing. I'm most appreciative of that. I will be back, hopefully in a week, with another video. Thank you very much.